Thank you for coming, everybody. I appreciate taking the time to come out here this afternoon and give a little update on an important investigation. Just before we start out, a couple of introductions. On my right here is Captain Ken Bermude. He's the captain in charge of our Criminal Investigations Bureau, also responsible for the Homicide Unit. And then to my left here is Lieutenant Dave Sawyer, who's the lieutenant in charge of Criminal Investigations Bureau and the Homicide Unit as well. So a little bit of an update here, and then we'll do just a few questions and answers at the end. So on Friday, July 22nd, which is today, the Orange County Sheriff's investigators arrested 5 suspects in connection with a homicide in San Juan at the dead end of Tribuco Creek Road in San Juan Capistrano. And I'm going to just pronounce the names for you. So the suspects are as follows. Ashkan Diaz Hangfard, date of birth of 3/8 of 1994. Ryan Huebner, date of birth of 8/4 of 95. Siavish Hossein Leah Arni, date of birth of 11/25/97. Angelica Shiabata, date of birth of 6/20 of 88. And Brian Hyde, date of birth of 5/23 of 94. And those exact spellings on those names will be provided in the press release that you can get a hold of either afterwards or on social media. So again, just to go back, previous today on Wednesday, July 13th at about 1 p.m., sheriff's deputies responded to the end of Tribuco Creek Road in San Juan Capistrano, reference an adult deceased male that was located in the creek bed. Deputies, when they arrived, they immediately contacted the coroner's department, who responded out to the scene. And when they located and found the body, they found some traumatic injuries to the body that were suspicious in nature. So they immediately contacted the homicide investigators with our department, who responded and assumed responsibility of that investigation. Our homicide crime scene and coroner investigators processed and collected a lot of evidence from the scene and worked that scene for quite some time in the coming day and days after. Our homicide investigators, along with our undercover units, began really an exhaustive investigation for the coming week, with the goal of bringing the suspects to justice and really bringing closure to the victim's family, which is something that's really important to us. And when I mean exhaustive, I mean exhaustive. We're talking every day, almost around the clock, chasing down leads, processing evidence, really looking at all the fine details and things that this homicide unit does on a daily basis. During the preliminary investigation, the deceased adult male was identified as Alvaro Rios, 38 years old, and he was reported as a missing adult out of the city of Paris in Riverside on July 13th, 2016, the same day the body was discovered. Orange County Coroner Division conducted an autopsy and determined that Alvaro was the victim of homicide. The injuries to him were consistent with being stabbed. Investigators prepared and served several search warrants in the days to come on several vehicles and residents in South Orange County. Those search warrants were served in Laguna Niguel and San Juan, and our undercover teams, along with our SWAT teams, assisted with those search warrants. All 5 suspects were arrested for murder and conspiracy and booked into Orange County Jail. They are all being held on $1 million bail each and scheduled for their first court appearance on Monday, July 25th, 2016. Just in conclusion, before we just ask a few questions and answers, it's really on behalf of the sheriff, we really consider it an honor to serve our communities of Orange County. And when crimes like this happen, and really any crimes that happen in our jurisdiction, we take them seriously. And it's really an honor to be able to work hard at this case and bring some suspects to justice. So,
Lieutenant, how were these 5 connected to the extent that you know?
Connected in which way?
Even to each other. What brought this group together?
Yeah, we're still looking at the specifics behind what brought them all together and how they're related, or if they're related at all. What their knowledge of each other was prior or after, that's something that we're still looking into.
What can you say about motive for the killing?
Again, that's always the question that we're looking at, in any crime that we're looking at solving. So We're still processing a lot of evidence. We're still looking at relationships between everybody and their interactions prior and after, and it's going to be something that we're going to be trying to hone in on and find an answer to in the days and weeks to come.
Are one of these 5 or all 5 connected to him missing in Paris? Or was he just happened to be missing from Paris and showing up in San Juan, or did they transport him from Paris possibly?
Yeah, we don't have the specifics on that. What we can say is that there was a relationship between the victim and one of the suspects, but we're still trying to determine exactly what that relationship was and what that consisted of. So it's something that we're looking at.
And multiple stab wounds, or?
There were stab wounds. Obviously, it was very traumatic injuries.
Does anyone have a prior record?
As far as these suspects, we don't have that information at this time. They were just arrested this morning.
What about the victim? What can you tell us about his prior? Does he have any?
Specific to his, whether or not he has any prior background in any arrests, I don't have that information.
What led detectives to this group of 5 people?
I think actually just really solid hard work on behalf of the homicide, investigators, taking specific information, interviews, conversations, all the things that they do really well. And then, they ended up, again, they were able to have enough, probable cause to serve search warrants on vehicles and residences, and, eventually enough probable cause to make the arrest on these 5 subjects. So.
Can you describe the area, or just that he was found, and what's around there, what the scene was like, and was there surveillance cameras someplace that maybe helped you guys out?
Well, to answer the surveillance camera question, that's something that we always look for in any investigation. We're always going to walk around and see whether it's residences or businesses or anywhere. That's pretty typical nowadays because a lot of people have surveillance cameras. So that's something that we obviously looked at. The surrounding area, it's the dead end of Trabuco Creek Road if you've ever been there before. So the road ends, and then there's the creek bed that's right there. The exact location and where that at and where the body was lying, I don't have that specifics for you, but he was found in the creek bed there. It's a dead end road.
Okay, so body, do you believe he was killed there, or was it a body dump?
It's something that we're still looking at and still investigating along with the DA's office.
Was he killed on July 13th or like another day, and then people found him on the 13th?
Right, so the coroner will be the one that will determine, how long or when the time of date and death was. That will be something that they will be looking at. I don't have a specific time or a day for you.
Okay.
Specifics?
Can you tell us about the victim, like his occupation or anything?
I don't have any specifics on what he did for an occupation, no.
Do you know anything beyond his name and age then?
I do not. No, it's from the city of Paris. Obviously, it's tragic. His family had reported him as a missing person, and this is where he ended up.
How long was he missing before they reported him missing?
He was reported missing that day.
But I mean, was he missing 24 hours prior to that, or 48?
I don't know. I just have the information on the reported missing, and it was that day.
The body was discovered by someone, a passerby, is that right?
Correct. The body was discovered by a passerby who actually is not related in any way to this investigation. He just happened to be passing by and did the right thing and notified the sheriff's department.
You say at 1 o'clock, I think, is the body was found, correct?
Correct.
I think on the website it said 10, I think. I thought it said 10, is that wrong?
Sorry about that.
On the coroner's website, I think it said 10.
On the coroner's report?
Your coroner's website.
Oh, okay. Well,
I have a typo, I'm just asking.
yeah, I'd have to actually look at that coroner's website to see where that came from. I just know that from our perspective, when we were notified, that we were notified at 1:10 p.m. and then that's when we responded. 1:10.
Yeah, I'm asking if it's a typo. It said 1000 hours, it says on the thing.
Okay, yeah, I'd have to look into that. I just know when we were notified, then we responded. So
All 5 were arrested without incident?
arrested without incident, correct?
Last question, I don't know. You said the victim was in some kind of relationship with one of the 5. Is it the girl? Is it one of the guys? Do we know? Which? Can you say?
No, what we do know as fact right now, we do know that the victim was in a preceding relationship with one of the suspects, and we're still trying to sort of focus in on exactly what the nature is of that relationship, but we do know that for sure, so that's what we're putting out right now.
Were these suspects arrested in the same location?
They were not. So, anything else?
No robbery? I mean, did he have a wallet with him? It was, you know,
As who,
the victim.
the victim?
Yeah.
I don't have specific information as to what was on his person when the coroner conducted their investigation.
But they're not charged with robbery, though.
They were arrested for, those exact charges, so that's it.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you very much.